Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special video for you guys. Today is my first video in a new series that I'm starting, and that series is the monthly color Polaroid series. I was really inspired to have a challenge that I can complete every month, a theme to complete every month and to portray in a piece. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'll be illustrating a Polaroid for each month, and it'll be themed around a certain color. So this month's color Polaroid theme was the color Lilac, which, if you don't know, lilac is a flower, and it's a very faint, light, lullaby purple that is really soothing and just kind of muted and faint, and it's a great color. And it was kind of an excuse to use a new watercolor paint that I bought. If you have seen other videos on my channel, you know that I paint a lot of watercolor galaxies, and purple is a very integral part of watercolor galaxies. So I went out and actually bought myself a tube of purple watercolor paint so I didn't have to mix a new color every time. So that's the color I decided to use to theme this month's piece. And this segues into my next point. I decided to paint from reference this month to try to cure my awful disease. You might know what it is if you read the title of this video. That's right. For months, I have suffered from same-face syndrome. I know, it's hard to hear. But it can be overcome, and that's what I want to talk about to you guys in today's video. So if you don't know, what I like to call same-face syndrome is when you just kind of get into a rut. Every person, character that you draw just kind of looks the same, you know? Similar features, similar skin tones, similar body type, all that sort of thing. All your characters and portraits look the same. So I totally found myself getting into this rut, and I decided that it was time to fix it. So the first thing I noticed was something that I've been doing this past week. I don't think I've had any videos on this in my YouTube channel so far, but I've been really into drawing 3/4 view faces. I draw them all the time, and it got to a point where I wasn't drawing anything else because that's where I was comfortable, and I decided I needed to push myself. So I decided for this piece I would draw someone in profile, which is something I haven't done for quite a while. The next thing you can do if you are struggling from same-face syndrome is to go somewhere and find a reference photo of something that you've never quite drawn before or you haven't illustrated in a while. So I went on the World Wide Web and I found a reference photo. Something I realized when I was looking over some of my past pieces was that recently, I had drawn a lot of 3/4 view faces, and I had drawn a lot of people with really light, fair skin. So I thought, let's change it up. Let's create a new character that's different from what I've been creating for the past couple weeks. So I found a reference photo of a woman in profile who had a darker complexion. So that's exactly what I illustrated today. I've only illustrated people with fair skin before on my channel, so I thought it would be interesting to show you me illustrating someone with a darker complexion and skin tone. So that's what I did today. I mixed some black watercolor with some really saturated kind of terracotta reddish color, and it created this kind of muted gray-brown, which I used for the skin tone. And then for the shadows, I just mixed in a little bit more of the black and a little bit more of the terracotta to create a more saturated tone that I would use for my shadows. If you couldn't tell, my camera cut out just a few seconds ago in the video, so you did miss some of my shading, but I was able to catch it pretty early on and start recording again, so you didn't miss the entire piece. So, like I was saying, if you are suffering from same-face syndrome, one of the best things you can do is to reevaluate what you have been creating recently. You don't need to look over your whole entire body of work, just what you've made in the last month or so. Look and see what the similarities are and see if your faces are looking the same. If they are, look for what's not in that collection of faces and try to create a piece with all the things that were missing in those past faces. It will expand your arsenal of artistic techniques so you can use them in the future, so you can have a wider range of faces in your arsenal. So that's what I believe is the number one thing to do when you're suffering from same face syndrome, is just get in there and make a piece involving all the things that your art has been missing. So that's my little spiel on same face syndrome. I hope my tips helped, because they certainly helped me. So now let's talk about the piece. As I said, I created a portrait of someone with a darker complexion, and it pushed me outside of my comfort zone, to be honest. I've never really dealt with that before. I usually deal with creating portraits of people with fair skin, and I really like how this turned out. I'm definitely going to be trying to widen my range of skin tones in the future. Now that I have a much wider palette, I believe that I can fully do that, so I'm going to be doing that a lot in the future because I really like how this piece turned out. In this piece, the theme was lilac. As you can see, the entire background is a very, very faint purple color, and then I wanted to tie that in along with the portrait of the character. So I made her lips a bright, saturated, deep purple, and I put a faint tint of purple into her eyelid just to give that effect of makeup or eyeshadow. And then that earring that's on her ear, I also did kind of the same shade and saturation as her lips, and that I feel just tied the piece together. I also added in some green in the eyes and green on the shoulder strap of her tank top, which tied those two colors in together. And I feel like purple and green, personally, I feel like they go really well. So I incorporated my idea of the way the colors went in this as well. I also gave her this black hair, which I used a wet on wet watercolor technique to kind of give it that hair-like texture, and then I went in with my calligraphy pen and labeled it at the bottom with the month. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to leave a like and comment in the comment section below if you have any ideas for future videos, or if you want to help me pick what the next color for August will be. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a future video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.